buildings reminiscent of war-torn cities. More than 100 square blocks were decimated by fire and looters, and few buildings were left.
This used to be the train tracks here. Where your blue line is today, that was the red car, okay? That was the depot. And so people would get off the train and walk to Watts, walk in here and do all their shopping. Blacks didn't start migrating until after World War II. This is a house I grew up in. I was born basically here, and my father had 24 kids, and I was the 13th child. But only 6 of us and my mother and father, so a total of 8 lived here. My father, he got a television like in 1953, and he used to charge people to watch the fights for 25 cents. And he'd stick it in the window, because nobody had TV in the neighborhood. If your ball went across here, you just have to wait till it got dark. Then you go get your ball. Because we were scared to death to go on the other side of those tracks.
What was on the other side?
White people. Linwood. Right there. We couldn't go to Linwood. My mother was valedictorian of her class. And she came out here to go to UCLA in 1946, but she couldn't get in. She met my dad, and she never went to college. So her goal was to have all her kids go to college. So of the 12 kids that my mother and father had together, 10 of us graduated from college. One, I think she has a PhD, a couple of them have masters, and some of my sister's kids, they have masters. The first time I ever had a bed by myself was when I went to college. This house and this house, Mrs. Kelly and Mrs. Robinson, they died in Jonestown.
Some people see a great deal of God in my body. They see Christ in me, a hope of glory.
And they died drinking the Kool-Aid.
Die with a degree of dignity. Don't lay down with tears and agony. It's nothing to death, it's just stepping on.
Mr. Thornton told me he could move a house with a crowbar, and I never understood it until I watched him tear down the house across the street and build that for his daughter there. You used to have beautiful lawns here. And the city allowed them to do this. This is where I met my first politician, Robert Kennedy. And he was the Attorney General at that time. And I got the opportunity, because I had good grades, to escort him to the auditorium. And I got a chance to shake his hand. And I remember the funny thing about it, I ran home to my mother, and I told her I met Robert Kennedy, and I shook his hand. So my mother said to me, "Did anybody else shake your hand?" I said, "No." She said, "Let me shake your hand." So I could feel like I shook Robert Kennedy's hand.
If an American, because his skin is dark, cannot eat lunch in a restaurant open to the public,